everybody. I just want to say a huge
talk
welcome.
While I try. Sorry, you talk while I try something else.
I want to say a huge welcome to the 344 people that were sitting there watching a screen not move. As you can all probably see, Noelle is still having some technical difficulties, but we've got her in some form or fashion, and she's going to continue to troubleshoot as we get underway. So apologies for being late. We all know that Noelle does not like to be late.
No, I do not. Not a good start.
Not a good start. And I don't know if anybody else can notice, but we're both wearing the same sweater tonight. And I thought, oh, never in a million years would she wear a Love Note sweater, because I don't know, she's made it a while ago. But anyway, I'm Kelly. This is my ghostly friend, Noelle. And together we are Knits and Pieces. We are a mostly knitting podcast coming to you from Southwestern Ontario in Canada. And what else do I have to say about that? It's been a weekend. It's been a couple of days, and we're in the middle of some chaos getting ready to go away again. So this past weekend, we were in Paris, according to Zoe, not the real Paris. We were in Paris, Ontario for a festival called Woolstock, and we had a fantastic time. We were in a house with, was there 8 of us? 8 of us, I believe. And we just had the best time. There was good food. There was wine. There was lots of knitting. There was late night conversations. There was a lot of laughter, and a great yarn festival. LPGA is looking for a weather report. Well, the weather's it's not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
It's not bad. And now we're home and busy packing up, getting ready for Rhinebeck. We leave technically sort of tomorrow night. We're leaving kind of in the middle of the night to head to Detroit for a plane to get to Rhinebeck. And from there, a friend is picking us up. And I've just been trying to organize my thoughts and plan the outfits. I don't know. Did you get anything done today?
Like as far as what?
Packing.
No, are you kidding? No, I did not. No. Anyway, at least you can hear me. I just have to get over this. This is just what it's going to be like for tonight. But boy, this company is going to get an earful in the morning.
It's not Streamyard, people. I know, because we talk a lot about Streamyard.
It's not Streamyard.
It's the platform that we both use our iPhones as cameras, and in order for the iPhone to talk to the computer, it has to go through another piece of software. And we both do use the same program, but for some reason, Noelle's just is not working.
I know, and anyways, whatever.
That's a little bit better.
A little better. I moved my light up.
Okay.
But that's as good as it is for tonight.
Okay.
Anyway, welcome everybody. We're glad to be here. I hate when things go wrong like this, and I logged in early enough, and anyway,
it throws off your flow, right? Because then you can't get it out of your head. That's all you're thinking about. Maybe we should start off talking about Woolstock. How great Woolstock was. It was a very busy festival. It's held at the Paris Fairgrounds, if you're not aware of that. So there's a series of buildings, and we go from building to building. I don't know what I was thinking. I mean, I knew where it was. I don't know why I dressed the way I did. I wasn't dressed warm enough. And it was muddy, and it was raining, and it was cold. And some of the buildings, I think two of the buildings are heated. The other one was not.
Well, the big one with 2 kind of rooms in it was heated. In fact, one of them, it was almost like too warm in that particular room.
Right.
But anyway.
But we ran into so many people, and that was really fun too. It was really nice to check in with everybody.
Come and say hi to us. We really appreciate it. We love talking to everybody, and this is going to drive me nuts. It's late. Okay, I just have to leave it. Just let me go turn on the hall light. You talk, Kelly.
You talk, Kelly. Anyway, yeah, so we did get an opportunity. On Instagram today, if for those of you who follow us on Instagram, I did post that we could be a bit of a hot mess. I guess that was just
Yeah.
foreshadowing. I didn't realize just how much of a hot mess we were going to be. But
Not
anyway,
only that, not only that, I was so excited today. I was supposed to have a hair appointment, right? So I thought, okay, I don't do anything to my hair. She's gonna fix it all. And I go, she's sick. So my hair appointment's canceled.
well, I didn't want to add to your misery, but I was going to say it didn't. I knew that you had a hair appointment today, and I was thinking, well, that doesn't look like what I was expecting from the hairdresser.
Nope.
But okay, back to Woolstock. Diane says it broke her heart to see spinning wheels in the mud. I know it was real. I was worried about that. Natalie and I were talking about that, how the dampness would impact the wood of the spinning wheels. But anyway, I believe a good time was had by all, except maybe the people that were out there in the mud, but definitely in the buildings. It looked busy. It felt busy. There were a lot of people there. There was a really good range of vendors there. We were not disappointed. We managed to find way more than we looked for or we thought that we were going to get going in. We came home with lots. You're still playing with it.
Yeah. Okay. I won't touch it anymore.
So we had a great time, and they had some pretty good food trucks there as well. The one thing I will say, and I don't want this to come off as a complaint because well, it's not a complaint about the festival. I'm not really sure how I should word it. The one thing that I wish for more festivals, and I understand why they don't do it, but I wish there was just a little more seating because I think, we get there in the morning, we do the shop, and then it would be nice to have a little more space to sit down and knit a bit with friends and then get back up and do the afternoon run through the show. But that could just be me thinking that, although I think some other people would appreciate that. And I know that often at festivals, there just really isn't a place to sit. I know some people bring their own chairs and they kind of tailgate parties for the more clement weather festivals. But there were a few picnic tables in the one building, but they're just generally, you run into people and we want to sit in it. That's all I'm saying.
That's right. You couldn't have sat outside. It was just too miserable.
Yeah.
So, and there wasn't really a whole lot of space inside. And I mean, when you're there for the whole day, because the festival starts at 9 and it goes till 4, at some point you're going to want to sit down and just, relax for a little bit. Right. So,
and I do understand. I mean, I think maybe the premise behind that is, they don't really want people to sit. They want people to shop, and the vendors want people to shop. But I'm just thinking, I feel people would kind of sit over the lunch hour when they're eating, and then they would feel renewed, and then they'd hop up and they'd go right back at those vendors. Because I think, for the most part, I don't know how many people actually go and would be inclined to spend the entire day at the festival, but maybe if there was a spot to sit down and lunch a little bit and visit, maybe they'd get back up. So that's just my 2 cents. I'm not a festival planner. What do I know? But I know what I would like. I always want to, there's always, because sometimes, we just don't get to see the people that we run into at festivals. Like we live a little bit away. We often have to travel a bit to get to these festivals. And I know there was a little more seating this time when we went to Montreal for Knit City. And we really appreciated that because that's to me, that's part and parcel of the getting together. It's, we're knitters and we want to gather and knit and ooh and ah over what everybody has in their bags. So
yeah, agreed.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's get moving. We've held you all up long enough. Let's get moving.
But of course I have to get up to get it because everything's not where it's supposed to be. Okay. But it's right here. Okay. So we had a few questions. Okay. One of them was, I know we've been talking about linen and plant fibers a lot. And so I did have a comment from someone that said that a lot of the reason that the linen or the cotton hurts our hands is because there's no give in the yarn and you're pulling it too tight because your stitches don't look all nice and even and straight when you knit, and they're not going to until you block that item. So, maybe if you just relax, like when you're knitting others, but I know for me, that's impossible to do because I want those stitches to look good on the needle. And I do find that because of that, I'm really tensioning hard with the one hand, and that's why my hand ends up hurting so much. So maybe I need to just try. And again, someone else had suggested last week that we look at the square needles. So I am going to see if I can get some of those before I do my next linen project and see how it goes with those. So, okay. And then we had been talking about lighting, and someone had mentioned, and I have heard of this light before. I haven't used one. It is costly, and this is not a neck light, but it's a really good light for doing finer work, or if you've got darker colors. And that's the BenQ e-reading LED desk lamp. And I know that I had one viewer that said that she swears by it and wouldn't be able to do her projects if she didn't have that. But it would be more a light that you would have like in your workspace or your space where you normally sit to do knitting. And I do have an Ott lamp for that, which Julia introduced us to this year. But yeah, it seems like the older I get, the more light I need. And, then I come on this and there's no light.
Let there be light. Let there be light.
Anyway, so those are a couple of good options for that. Let's see what else. Okay, I had an absolutely amazing email from a young viewer. She's only 32, and I mean that's young. Like for me, that's young. That's as young as my youngest child. Saying how much we inspired her to knit, and she's tried some of the methods that we used, and she's gotten into using the alternating cable cast on. And one of the questions one of the questions that she had was, what would be a corresponding bind off for that alternating cable cast on? Well, I know what I do. I don't know what anybody else here does, but for me, that alternating cable cast on almost looks exactly like a tubular cast on. So if I use that, then for a bind off, I use either the Italian sewn bind off or a tubular bind off. Now, I don't know what anybody else uses, if anybody's got any ideas, but I think those two pretty much mimic each other.
Yes. So. I think they do too. I think they look really, it's a good combination.
Yeah. Oh, and she was also like, this viewer was amazing. Anyway, she was also talking back to when we were showing our little tool to tighten up the your interchangeable needle sets. So she didn't have it or have access to that, but what she did, let me just find the picture here. She made little handles for the regular little tool that comes with all your needle sets have those that little needles at the top, and she made handles out of the Fimo clay, which is a Palmer clay, which lots of people make stitch markers and things out of. So she just made handles on them with the Palmer clay, and then she's got something better to grab onto, way easier to find in your toolkit.
Oh, and that is really clever.
I thought that was ingenious. That was an amazing. And you have all sorts of those little tools that come with when you buy. I think you get them when you buy a cord.
Yes,
right?
You do.
So you could, if you just got a little bit of that Palmer clay, you would be able to make lots of tools into that little tool that would be a lot easier to find than just that little needle that comes with it.
Absolutely.
So I think that was an amazing idea.
I do not go a project without using the wooden one that we were given, but I like that idea too, because I like to leave that wooden one where I knit at home. I don't travel with that one because I'm so afraid of losing it.
Well, I do. I have a kit with everything in it, and it does come with me, because then I know exactly where it is, and I'm not going through looking for one of the other little ones. But
it was Julia. That her name is Julia. She's in here now.
Okay,
hi, Julia. Yes. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Well, Julia, it was an amazing hack, right? Like of things that, because everybody doesn't have access to send away for, those little tools that we got, they don't even make them anymore.
No.
Right. And I think this is so easy because you can make your own just by putting a little bit of that Fimo modeling clay around the little circle end of I don't even know what you call them. What do you call them?
Cable tightener?
Needle tightener.
A cable thingamabobber. I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, a needle tightener, I guess. So anyways, so now we can all make our own. I think that's
absolutely
amazing.
Where do we get the Fimo clay?
I think most hobby stores. Like I bet you could go and buy that at Michael's.
Okay.
So Yeah. So anyway, I thought that was a good idea. The next question was, someone is knitting a men's cardigan and they decided on the Eva by, I think it's Petite Knits. Okay. But the question she had was as far as a size to pick. So this is a cardigan for a man. Okay. High chest 41, full chest 43, but then around the middle, they're 45. So what do you do there? Like if it's, and he doesn't want it tight. So I think you've got to go to at least the 45.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do want it a little bit more fitted up here, what you could do is do the yoke to the 43. And then once you pick up for the sleeves, pick up a few more extra stitches under here. And maybe do like, once you get into this part, like do some extra increases till you get to that 45, or, you know, depending on what ease you want to build in there.
Well, depending also on what you plan to do for the, oh goodness, for the waist ribbing, like if you,
Right.
So a lot of times when we're making a lady sweater, I know I do this, and I think you do as well. We don't needle down to do that waist ribbing because we want the ribbing to be the same width as the sweater, if I'm saying that right. So maybe what you could, but for a man, I mean, a man's body, they're built different than a lady's for sure, right? And they often do want that sweater to sort of cinch in because they don't have the hip issue that we ladies have generally. So maybe what you could actually do is customize your shaping the way you do a little bit for a bit of a boxy or an A-line sweater. You do pick up a few extra stitches to give you that shape. And then you could actually take those stitches back in and the size down to the pad or to the suggested needle. And then you would get a much more customized fit for the body that you're knitting for.
Yeah. And if you're doing, like, if they're doing it, like it is a top-down sweater. And we have a comment here, which I was thinking of that too, is that you could go up your needle sizes. So you could do the yoke and stuff in smaller needle sizes and then go up. But you're going to have to do some accurate gauge swatches to make sure that you get enough difference, you know, to get that difference. I mean, if the full bust is 43 and you want 45, that's not a huge amount. I think you can get a lot of it by casting on some extra stitches under the arms. But then if you did that as well as maybe going up a needle size, I think that would accommodate the extra couple of inches in the body. And then you probably, for a man, and she said that the 45 was like right at the waist above the belt, then you probably do not want to go down needle sizes for the rib. You probably want to keep that rib loose, so you kind of block it out the same as the sweater. Again, because we're talking about customized for a particular body, right? So if the body came back in again, then you'd probably want tighter ribbing. But if not, you probably want the ribbing just to be straight. So, okay. Wow, all these questions, there was a lot of questions this time. Okay, someone else had a question about what we thought would be a good first color work sweater.
I'm going to default to Tin Can Knits again.
Okay. I say look at your, first of all, I would pick something with only like your body color and one color in the yoke.
Yes.
That would be a first recommendation.
Yes.
Second, I would make sure when you look at the design, you don't want anything where the floats are going to be too long. So for the first time, you don't have to worry about catching floats.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be, and I'd probably do a pullover as opposed to a cardigan. So you're knitting totally in the round and don't have to worry about steeking. Yep. Janice says sheep camp. That was fairly straightforward, right?
Yes, very much so. And no longer, I think there was only,
the only thing about the Soldotna is there is multiple colors in it.
Yes.
So,
yes. But yeah, the sheep camp, which I did finish this week, friends. It was a great sweater to work on. And for the most part, the floats were all relatively short. I think there were only a couple of rows where you might have wanted to catch your floats. And also maybe I wouldn't look for, if it was my first one, I probably would try to stay away from the fingering weight sweater. And I would try to go at least to a sport with, or larger, just because I think for first, when you're first learning color work, I think it's easier to tension the larger yarns than the smaller. So I probably wouldn't attempt a fingering weight sweater if it was my first color work.
And if you have someone little in your life to knit for, it's you know, if you can do a child sweater first, it still teaches you all the techniques, but you get more results and you find out where your issues are going to be and know what you have to work on. So
okay. And Vicky's recommending Jessica McDonald. She said she has many beautiful designs suitable for beginner color work. She has a podcast and many good video tutorials, and I find video tutorials are helpful for people. Yeah. I'm not familiar with any of Jessica's patterns, but I might make a note of that and check some of her designs out. Okay.
Okay. So the next bit of admin, I was contacted by Unit Toronto, and they have a new dress pattern that's going to be coming out this week. So I'll pop a picture of the dress up here. As of yet, it's not.
Oh, that's super cute.
But it is a really cute dress. So they have offered us a discount. So this is the Unit dress. I just put that in there because I don't know what the name is going to be, but this is by Claudia from Unit Toronto. So the code is going to be Knits and Pieces 50 for 50% off the pattern. That's going to start Thursday, October 19th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's going to run till Tuesday, October 24th at midnight Eastern Standard Time. The dress is done. It is an Aran weight, so it would knit up fairly quickly. And some of the testers have also done it in a DK weight held with mohair. Like I think
that's adorable. That's adorable. I love it.
So yeah. So again, it doesn't start till Thursday at 2 o'clock. It will still be going. So next podcast, I'll remind you, you'll still have till midnight in order to get the patterns for 50% off. But yeah, I really like that. I think that would be a perfect dress for winter with like a pair of tights and some boots. And I think it's really cute.
It's really cute.
Okay. And also Claudia is going to be at Rhinebeck. So she was doing a lot of these like kind of weekends where there was sales on the patterns or discounts on the patterns leading up to Rhinebeck. So at Rhinebeck, she's actually going to be in the Merit Books. That Merit Bookstores has a stall at Rhinebeck. So she's going to be there on the Saturday from 11 till 3 and on the Sunday from 11 till 3:30. So she'll be signing the book. The book is Making Memories, and it's a children's book. It's got amazing kids patterns in it. And she will also have all the samples from the book there.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. So I think that's really nice to be able to go and see a sample as opposed to just looking at like a picture, right? So if you're at Rhinebeck and you're interested in that, that's at the Merit Bookstores stall at Rhinebeck. So I know I want to see some of them.
Absolutely.
There was sweaters in there that would be perfect for grandchildren. So anyway, okay. So that was it, I think, for admin, other than we have our prizes.
We do.
So do you want to show the prizes there, Kelly?
Yes.
If I showed them, you wouldn't be able to see them.
We're talking about this, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a, this was gifted to us from La Violette Yarn Store. And it is to make the, I just lost the name of the mittens.
Coastal Drift.
The Coastal Drift mittens. Yes. And last week we gave away the kit that was the Sunday with the tin silk mohair. And this week we've got this kit. So you get 4 balls.
No,
and
you don't. It's two, that's 2 separate kits.
This is 2 separate kits.
Yeah, we're giving away 2 kits.
Okay, we're giving away 2 kits of these. I thought that was an awful lot to do mittens, but yeah, I thought, okay, well, I'll just go with it. Anyway, I'm doing this wrong again. There's 2 colors then, right?
Well,
here we go.
They get 2 of the same color to do.
2 of the same color. Oh my gosh. So there's this color first, which is a beautiful peachy, neutral, sandy beigey pink. That's a horrible way to describe it, but these colors don't have names. They just have numbers.
I think that one might, they have names, like it's the same thing. If you go on the website, they might have names. I think that's actually called ballet pink or something.
Yes. That would be a good name for it. It is. Yeah. It's just a very neutral pale pink. That's kit number 1. Kit number 2 Also a lovely neutral. I was just looking to see if there was a name, but there's not. And this is the beautiful double,
Putty.
pardon me?
I think it might be called Putty.
That would work too. These are really soft yarns too. The double Sunday is a non superwash yarn, and it's also muslin free, and it's 100% merino wool. So it's going to be cozy and warm. Do we still have a picture of the pattern that goes with it?
I don't. I took it down. Sorry. I was going to have my mitts here.
Okay. Well, it's a pattern that she,
whoops.
It's a pattern that she wrote, and it's a really interesting sort of a braided pattern. Noelle just gave me mine on the weekend, so I might take those with me to Rhinebeck to work on, because it's a lovely little carry along and go project.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and it's a super fun knit. The stitch is fun. The stitch is not difficult, and she also has a YouTube tutorial for the stitch if you're having any trouble making the stitch. So the pattern is available on Ravelry, but we are going to give the kits plus the pattern. And our winners, our first winner, and what we had asked you to do was tell us what you liked or didn't like about winter. So our first winner is Laura D. And she said her favorite thing about winter is decorating my house with cozy blankets and candles, then enjoying them in the evening.
Sounds like a great day of knitting to me.
That's right. So Laura is our first winner. And then the second winner is Joan Mather. And Joan said that crisp winter day with a bright blue Alberta sky, the sun is shining, the fresh snow is sparkling. Man, beautiful. And it is. And we all like this from like while the snow stays white and is sparkling, you know, before it kind of gets driven over. And
yes, absolutely.
So congratulations to both Joan and Laura.
And you can reach out to us here.
Okay.
Knits and Pieces podcast at gmail.com. Send us.
So when you reach out, I will give you, once you email, I will give you a code to get your pattern on Ravelry, and I'll send your address along to Kelly and she'll get the prize in the mail. So we need full name and mailing address.
Yes.
Okay. So congratulations. And again, it's an amazing pattern. I've done it both in the double Sunday and in the Sunday held with the tin silk mohair, and they're both beautiful. So would make wonderful gifts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay.
So should we talk about what we're wearing?
I guess so. It's the longest intro in history. I'm writing. You start.
Okay. So Kelly and I are both wearing the Love Note by Tin Can Knits. This is a pattern. I've knit it quite a few times. It goes from like baby up to quite large. You can knit it. It's a DK. It's basically meant for a DK weight, but lots of people have done it with a straight DK or with a fingering held with a mohair. It would be perfect in the care yarn from the Knitting Loft, like just held singly. I've done it with Barocco summer silk. So there's tons of options in what you can do it in. The version that I'm wearing today is done with, it is the silk mohair from Songbird Fibers. That's Vicky. And it's, I think the green was called Fern. And then my singles yarn was from Life in the Long Grass. And that color was called Twilight. So it's got kind of like the pale green in the mohair, but then throughout the twilight, there's like little flecks of blue and a darker green. And just, I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I did this one a little bit closer fitting. So it is a little bit, the gauge is probably a little bit tighter than what the pattern actually calls for. But that's another thing that you can do by customization, as long as you know what your gauge is going to be. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm sure I will knit this pattern again.
And mine is knit with Emma's yarn, and it was the Hella Hank in the colorway Orbit, which the Hella Hanks come in 150 grams, and I used every last bit of it. It is, I didn't grab my photo from my Ravelry, but mine is a it's a crop sweater with 3/4 sleeves. And then I held it with a mohair called Wish You Were Beer, also by Emma's Yarn. And I love this sweater. I've worn it. Oh gosh. I made this quite a few years ago because this was yarn that I bought in Columbus at Vogue Knitting. And I've just worn the heck out of this. And then I've also paired it with one of my Sophie scarves. Is that what they're called? Yeah, the little Sophie scarves. And it's quite long. So I've just got it tied here with the ties kind of hanging over my shoulder. And this was using the Coriander Yarns.
Coriander 3.
Coriander 3. And it was I don't remember what the base is called, but it's a yak and silk. That I remember.
Yeah.
And I think the color might have been mulberry.
Okay,
I've gotten a lot of...
Now my smoke detector's going off.
Oh my gosh.
Just a minute.
Must be the smoke that's tunneling out of her ears for having technical difficulties. That's the quietest smoke detector ever. I can't even hear it.
Ross set it off. Ross was sawing something in the basement, so he set it off.
Okay.
But all's good. That's all good.
Okay.
Man, we haven't had an episode like this in forever.
Well, let's just get it out of the way, right? Let's just power through it and get it out of the way. And hopefully we don't have one like it again for a very long time.
Yeah.
Okay.
What did I do?
Pardon me?
What did I miss while I was gone?
Nothing.
Okay. We apologize. Next week will be better.
Well, I don't know. Next week we're going to be hungover from Rhinebeck.
It will be better.
Yeah, we can. Fingers crossed will be better. No guarantees. Okay.
Have we talked about knitting yet?
Have we talked about knitting? No, but let's talk about knitting because I have some finishes this week.
Okay. Yes, Friday the 13th was last week, and it was a good day.
It was Miles' birthday. It was a great day.
Okay, so I guess we're on to
FOs.
How
many do you have?
3.
Okay, I have 2. You start.
Okay. First one is my socks.
Very nice.
So, and there I only have one blocker, but there's the other sock, just so you know, both are done. So this is Timber Yarn's Twin Sock Marl. This is the pretty pink colorway. This is one of my pairs of socks for Christmas. I did a 1x1 twisted rib cuff. I did a leg in 3x1 rib, continued to 3x1 rib on the top of the foot, and then the bottom of the foot is just stocking stitch. And I love this color. I love this color. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna have to make some for me, but that won't be till after Christmas. So this is one of the girls' pair. So this is pair number 8 finished for Christmas. And my next ones are going to be in the ducky yellow colorway. And those will probably get started this week while I'm in Rhinebeck. So that's finished one.
Okay. My finished one was a cast on this weekend and a finish this weekend. Who am I? In yarn that I didn't get to show last week because it came in the day after our podcast. So it was the Lush yarn. So this is what I have left of it. I'm hoping for some fingerless mitts. I don't know how much I have left. My scales here, I can weigh it after. And this is the Lush colors or Lush base from the Knitting Loft. This is one of their house yarns. I know you got your sweater finished, I'm assuming. And I'm trying to remember what the colors were. This one was Jeannie, and this one was, I can't remember. It will be in my Ravelry though. Anyway, here's what I knit with it. I love, love, love this. Look at this hat. This is the most luscious hat ever. It is called the Cloud Hat by Lamb and Kid. So it was, I think the pattern was written for is it Big Birdie yarn?
Yes.
Has a really fun little, kind of a squared off shaped. And I've discussed this many times, so I'll just say it again. I generally don't like the way hats look on me because I think my head is too long and thin. When you have a brim this wide and fat, it looks great. And then I added just this sort of little leather button, thing that I got in Montreal from Jezebel. And I thought that was a cute little addition. So I don't really want to put it on though, because then it will stick to my hair. But I wore it out last night for the first time and I absolutely love it. And I highly recommend this pattern. So I held it, the two colors together all the way through. It was a super quick knit on size 5.5 needles. And yeah, it was fun. And yes, I've left a string because I haven't decided if I want to put a palm on it or not. So I left a string in there to attach a palm just in case. But so I think if I can do some fingerless mitts of some way, shape, or form, then that'll be a really nice set. So this is probably coming with me this weekend too. And the pattern is a free pattern on Ravelry too. I do have a banner for it. Sorry. There we go.
Becky wanted to know how many pairs of socks I have to knit. I still have 4 more adult pairs and 6 kids pairs. But one of the adult pairs is mine, so if I don't get to them, although I need them for the photo, so I'll get them done.
So, okay, Sweater Weather is asking, are Lush and Big Birdie the same weight and gauge? No. So the Lush would be like half of the Big Birdie. That's why I held 2 of them together, and 2 of them together gave me the gauge that I needed for the hat. And I see Marianne's in here. Marianne, are you not on the plane? I thought you were leaving at 5:30.
I think she goes tomorrow.
No, she leaves tonight. She said Tuesday.
I thought it was tomorrow, but
today's Tuesday, right? Yes, today's Tuesday.
Yeah. Yep.
Maybe she's at the airport, but I thought she was leaving at 5:30. Okay. Anyway, I love the hat. Highly recommend it if you're looking for a super quick knit. And if you've got some like big, soft, cozy yarn, or heck, just go on the Knitting Loft and order yourself a couple. So, okay.
It's in the Toronto airport, she said. So she's not on the plane.
She must have been taking a plane to Toronto then.
Maybe.
She's waiting and knitting. Okay.
Okay, so my next finished object is actually yarn. I don't know how well you're going to see it.
I can see it.
Anyway, I've got 2 50-gram skeins because I was originally, this is Crafty Jacks. It is their tweed. I think it's a South Down and then the tweed neps in it. Like I love the colors in it. I was going to 2-ply it, but when I started 2-plying it, I just didn't like it. It was too many different things. So instead I just chain plied it so that it's a little bit thicker yarn, but all the color kind of stays together. So it'll be more like it'll go into long color stripes.
Okay.
As opposed to the barber pulling. And so the reason I have 2 50-gram skeins is because I had divided it because I was going to 2-ply it. So I did half on each. So, but now I've got these. And it was fun. The tweed was interesting to spin because you get the thick bits in the tweed. I'd not done that before. So you kind of had to, the drafting was a little bit more, well, not difficult, just different than what you normally do with just a straight yarn. But I think it turned out nice. The colors are nice and it was fun to do. And it's already been washed and skeined up. And I was complaining to Ross that my nitty naughty that I had was too big.
Okay.
Oh, dropping everything here. So he fixed it. So this is my nitty naughty that he made me. And before it was about 4 inches longer. So just like this morning, I told him it was too long. So he just took it out and fixed it. So
that Ross, he's so clever.
Well, yeah, and I just have to show you what I just got too, because when we were in Woolstock, Sarah told me that I needed to get a Nostipin. And we looked at them and I was going to buy one. And I thought, I'm not going to buy a Nostipin. I'm just going to tell Ross I need one. So.
He's already got it done?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So I told him I needed one. I don't know what it looks like, but that's what a Nostipin is. Now I just have to learn how to use it. So it's It's a pin that you can use to wind your cakes on. So if you're not somewhere where you've got like a ball winder, you can actually wind it onto this into like a cake as opposed to into a ball. And it's really good for when you've used something and you've gone through, and you know how if you pull from the center pull, by the time you get to the end of the cake, it's all messy and sloppy and you want to kind of redo it. So it's good for that. So now I just got to figure out how to use it.
Sarah says that she will teach you.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I might need one of those too, Ross. Once Noelle learns how to use it. Okay. I got another finish too. I said last night I was going home and I was going to finish the sleeve before I went to bed because it had to go on a blocking board last night. And I didn't get the sleeve finished last night. I had, I don't know, just a few inches left to finish and I was too tired. So I put it on to a cable thing, a pony cord. I put it on a thing and then I blocked it. And then this afternoon, I just picked up and knit that last 45 minutes. So the sheep camp sweater is done.
Gorgeous.
Done, blocked, ready to be packed in my suitcase and taken to Rhinebeck. This was the pattern by, now I've got hair in my face. Maybe a cat hair. Do I have a banner for this one? Yes. So it's the Sheep Camp Sweater by Jennifer Berg. She's on Instagram as the Native Knitter. And I knit this using the Southlander Sport 5-ply, which is yarn that Noelle gifted me from her New Zealand trip. She brought me back four skeins of this. I used for this sweater 2 and whatever I've used out of this one. So I've still got enough for another project. And then the other yarn, it's not this colorway, obviously, but it was Spin Cycle dyed in the wool. And that was gifted to me. So it's a gifted sweater by the Knitting Loft. And it was their store color, which is After Midnight, which was timely because most of the sweater got knit after midnight. And I just love the beautiful colors that she has. In the skein, I truly thought this was like pinks, charcoals, and grays. And then once I skeined it up, it's actually a lot of teal. And it's just beautiful the way it looks with this. So couldn't be happier with this. And now I have a new sweater to wear for Rhinebeck this weekend at long last. It seemed like and also I will knit that sweater again. Hands down, I will knit that sweater again. And how I want to knit that sweater is with another skein of the dyed in the wool because I absolutely love it. And I would knit it as a crop to wear with my dresses. Now that this one I made quite long to wear with jeans. And I didn't do full sleeves because my watch always kind of gets in the way with full sleeves. So the sleeves come to just a like bracelet length, I guess. And then I would do it again though as a crop with short sleeves that I would wear with dresses. I loved knitting that yoke. I thought it was so much fun. And that was my first time using the Spin Cycle yarns. I know I can't believe it was my first time, but it was, and I absolutely loved it and have bought more Spin Cycle since then. Okay.
Okay. I have one more finished object. So this is my Badger in Bloom. And this is a pattern by Anne Vensel. Yeah, I have it here. And this one is also done in the Knitting Loft Lush. The colors are, the dark is eggplant and the light is smoky lavender or gray lavender. And like basically it weighs nothing. Like this sweater is, I've still got 10 grams left of a 50-gram ball of the eggplant. And I've still got 25 grams left of the third 50-gram ball of the gray lavender. So like basically, what is that? 2.5, a little over, it's about 3.5 skeins of 50-gram skeins.
Mm-hmm.
So like, that's amazing. Like I said, like it weighs nothing. The only I just wish that the pattern was size inclusive. I said that last week and I showed a couple of different options. I honestly don't know why it couldn't be, because it's not a very long stitch repeat, but I'm not a designer, but like, I think it would be not that hard to adapt. I did do some modifications to the pattern. My row gauge is probably a little bit longer. So when you got to the end here, you were supposed to do short rows on the back. I didn't do that, but what I did was I did short rows at the bottom of the sweater. So you can see my back is
to give it a little bit of the high-low. Yeah.
So all I did was I went and looked at my Love Note pattern, because the Love Note has the short rows down at the bottom. So I just looked at a size that was close to that in stitch count and followed the Love Note pattern to get that kind of high-low. So then the sweater sits really nice on. I did do the color work at the sleeves. This color work was also supposed to be around the bottom of the sweater, but I didn't do that. I kind of like just a straight line. I mean, I'm pretty short, so I didn't want it kind of broken up, putting a bunch of, I don't know, a bunch of the dark color in the pattern around the middle. So yeah, so I think this is going to be, I think it's going to be super warm, but light. So it'll still have some ventilation. This yarn definitely is next to skin soft, like easily next to skin soft.
So if you see Noelle at Rhinebeck wearing that sweater, that's the sweater you want to hug her in. Yeah. It's just, well, it's the same as my hat. It's like so cozy.
Yeah.
I want to order more. I want a sweater in it as well.
I would love to do a cardigan in it.
Yes.
So
maybe I would choose one of these colors and something else to do color work in, and then I could wear my hat with it too.
Yeah, and the colors that this comes in,
so many,
and there's so many of them. It does come in 50 gram cakes. I believe that the composition of the yarn is Surrey alpaca and silk. I think.
I don't have the ball band.
I don't have a ball band here either. But anyway, all of the information, like our show notes, will have links to our Ravelry pages, and you'll be able to access the yarn there. But yeah, I will definitely be making more with this yarn. I mean, I could see like Zoe's pretty picky about what she likes close to her skin.
Oh, she would like that.
Yeah, she was like, could wear that.
Yeah, so absolutely.
Okay, so that's my only finished objects for this week. So it seems like this week has gone by so fast, and so many things that I wanted to get done didn't get done, and then the computer screws up and the camera's off and my hair appointment gets canceled. My smoke detector goes off.
So then you won't have a hair appointment before we leave? Is that where you're headed with that?
Well, we leave tomorrow, like late tomorrow night.
Well, I didn't know if you rescheduled to tomorrow or something.
No.
Yes, Lynn says we could have a lush wardrobe. Oh,
there you go.
It's just, it's so soft. So soft. Okay.
Whips.
Okay, so whips, the only thing I cast on this week was the hat. Then I cast that off. So it was a whip and an FO. I finished my sheep camp sweater, and that's pretty much all I really had time to work on were those two things. But I do want to cast on those mittens to take with me. And then I also want to cast on, so this will be coming with me as well. I'll take it out of the plastic now. Sorry. Try to get it away from me. This was a purchase in Woolstock, and
okay, I have to go get something. You talk.
Okay, what does that? So this was a kit that I got at shoot, what was the name of the store? Unwind. I thought I had a label. Anyway, it was Unwind. Unwind. And do you remember the name?
It's Unwind Yarn Shop. It's in Newmarket.
Okay. So they had these things kitted up. So it was, you got the pattern for the Guthrie hat, but then they did also email me the pattern because I like to work with it on Knit Companion. And then this was some yarn that I have wanted to work with for a while. It's the BC Garn Samilla Mélange. Surprise on the color, right? Who would expect that color? And then they had this for me, and then they had this paired with the Chopal Edition 3. So this was not one of the kits. I chose these two colors myself, but they put it together as a kit for me. And it was really reasonably priced, including the hat. I think it was $36 for the whole kit, which is quite reasonable. And this yarn is really soft. So the only thing I was thinking though, and I want to modify this, the Guthrie hat just has that single headband again, or the single row, but I know that it will not in any way, shape, or form use all of this yarn. So I'm definitely planning to double up on that. But I was thinking I have mohair left even from this sweater, which is really similar to this color, the Wish You Were Beer. I'm wondering about how would it look just to add mohair into the hat band and not in the rest of the hat, just use these two for the color work. The reason I'm thinking that is because I still think that might make the hat band look even a little thicker on my thin head, and then I would be more comfortable wearing it. I know the way the pattern is written, just that single band, I know that I wouldn't be comfortable with that on me, but I love the color work in this hat. I should have pulled it up as a picture because in black and white, it doesn't really show, but I want to cast this on for sure. So that will be a whip that I'll be working on over the weekend. And you?
Okay, so I am doing a sample for Leo and Roxy.
And it's so pretty.
The pattern is called Wayworn by Melanie Berg, and I'll show you a picture of the pattern if I can find it. I'm pretty sure I put it in here. Okay, so it's a mohair like scarf shawl, because it's pretty big to be called a scarf, but it's all mohair. So there's 3 colors of mohair in it. So the first section that you do is a stripe section, and then it goes into a solid section, but the solid section has texture in it. So the colors that I'm doing it in, okay, so it's bright. I should have been holding this up to me the whole time.
You could have been using it as a reflector.
Anyway, this is, I believe that the colors are called, I think the yellow is called, it's either Password or Highlighter, but this is the Leo and Roxy Silk Mohair, and it's striped with the parchment. No, yes. Either parchment or linen, I can't remember. But again, it will all be in my Ravelry page. So this is what's done so far. I actually took this project over. Someone had started it, or I think they'd all worked on it a bit at the store. So they had gotten to, I just got markers in here. So this whole first section is kind of like where it's on a diagonal.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? So where this stitch marker is right there, that's where they were, or no, that's where the section that's parallel begins. And so this is where I started right here. So it's got this done. So there's still about another, probably another third to do in this section, a third to a half to do in this section. And then the next color that's going to go in there is this. And this is Heather. So it's kind of like a purpley. And it's just like, it's just so light. It just like, it feels like everything I'm knitting these days is all just like light and flowy. And you know what? It's on a 3 1/4 millimeter needle. I actually don't mind knitting single mohair.
No.
Like it takes a while, but I know a lot of people don't like knitting it, but I don't mind. It just feels like it slides through your hands. I must admit, this is nice to do. This is the needle that it was on, which is I think it's a Knitter's Pride, but it's wooden, and it actually does feel really nice on the wooden needle. So I'm actually going to take this on the plane with me because it's already on wooden needles. I'll get this rolled up just in case I get that far, but I don't think I will. I think I've still got a ways to go with the 2
I think that color, I know that they look like very opposite colors that you wouldn't necessarily think of, but I think that lavender will really play well with that parchment or putty, whichever it is.
Yep.
I think it will make it almost look more lavender when you once you pair it with
rather than when I hold up that against it, like you can then see the colors a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and it's funny because you would think that yellow is so bright, you'd think it would really stand out, but that striping is still really subtle.
Yes, it is. It's
even though
really
that
nice.
other color is like, because like there's the 2 colors, right? So they look totally different, yet that striping is like really subtle in the design.
It's pretty. It's really pretty.
So that's one that's going to be coming with me. And then the next one that's going to come with me is my Calabash by Beth McDonald Stone, who we will get to meet.
Yes, we will. Looking forward to it.
So I've almost got the yoke done. You want to hold that up there? Look, see how that looks good against the camera. Anyway, so I'm at the point on the yoke where some of these little calabash melons or gourds are like no longer there, like they're at the end of them. So in between those, I'm doing ladder back jacquard, because I will do the ones that are on here now. After they finish, they disappear. So they'll be laddered back jacquard because there's 14 stitches in there, and I'm not going to carry the yarn for 14 stitches.
Right.
So, but it's really actually super easy to do the ladder back jacquard on this, because your base is stock or reverse stockinette. So you've just got that stitch in behind, which is just a knit stitch. So the way I'm doing this right now, I am purling with my right hand, and it's knitting with my left hand, because the knit in the left hand.
Turn it around. Can you turn it around and show us? Yeah, very good.
So like I said, I'm purling, so I don't have to do any Norwegian purl. I'm just doing that twisted stitch with my left hand. Yeah, left hand. Get this mixed up. My left hand. So it's really easy when you're doing the ladder back jacquard, because I'm just purling across. Then you just knit that one stitch. It's not attached when you get to those stitches. It is not attached to your base fabric. It's like a separate layer in behind it, but it holds your yarn so that you don't have a huge long float across the back. So once I've got the whole yoke done, I'll be able to show you more, because I'll be able to stick my finger right up in there to show you that the fabric is not attached to the.
Right.
Yeah. So this is done in Full Moon Fibers. This is a rambouillet, a special rambouillet that they had at a knitting pop-up shop that they had at Little Red Mitten last year. The color is called Freshwater, and it's non-superwash. The color, you can kind of see it's a little bit variegated, but kind of just subtly. It's really pretty. And then the contrast color that has the calabash in it is the Knitting Loft Care in the baby doll color.
Baby doll, yeah.
Yeah. So really, really enjoying that. So those on a pair of socks are probably what's going to come to Rhinebeck with me.
I don't know if I'll bring a sweater or not.
And that last one I should put up, but that last one was the Calabash by Beth McDonald Stone. And she is going to be at Rhinebeck, and I'm really excited, because the one day at Rhinebeck, I'm going to wear one of her sweaters. So I hope I get to see her that day.
That day, yes. Yeah, for sure.
So,
okay.
Yeah, so that's it for anything that I worked on this week. So I didn't take a picture, but I did actually warp up the loom, and I'm working on some things on the loom, but I'll show that later. After I come back from a festival that's got spinning and weaving and everything else, that I'm so totally inspired. I want to do everything. And it's like, okay, what I want to do has increased, but my time hasn't.
There won't be enough hours in the day when we get back.
No.
For sure.
No. So.
Okay. Do we want to have a quick chat about some of the things that we got on the weekend?
Sure.
Okay. So, so you already saw the hat that I'm going to make. And then, I meant to bring a picture in too, but this is yarn that Noelle and I both got. It's something that we saw that we liked, and it's the Mota yarn. And this was from the Unwind yarn shop as well. And so Mota is, it's by Wool Dreamers. This is the color Gray Natural. And they put up in this is 100 gram balls. There's 252 yards, and it's 100% merino yarn. But this is very heathery, I guess. And then, so I'm going to make the Tony cardigan. Julia made it, and I fell in love with it. And so I thought, I know that it's not exciting because it's neutral, but I am going to add some black trim to it and line the inside of the pockets with black as well. And I know that it's not like an exciting, colorful knit, but we need to have some neutral standards or I need to have some neutral standards in my closet. And then Noelle goes and buys this colorful creation. Show yours
Okay,
off.
so this was, I seriously had set out to buy neutral, but this is what happened.
And that's what happened.
So this is 5 different colors. Do they have the color names?
I don't. Oh, mine did, because it was gray natural.
I say numbers, but anyways, there's the, but then my base color is going to be this gray natural. So the
on
sweater
the button,
that,
and it's basically just on the button band, right? And the cuffs.
yes. So the sweater that I am going to do is this one. So this is the Douglas Carty by Andrea Mowry. And the actual, one of the girls in the booth had this sweater on, almost in these exact colors. Now I have a couple more different colors in here because I couldn't decide what colors I wanted. I might use all of them, or I might just use some of them. I haven't decided yet. I'll have to see how it goes. But I really do like this yarn. It is very reminiscent of Gilead by Durera Natura.
Yes.
And pretty much yardage wise, it's pretty close to that as well. So that I know that even if I don't, well, I mean, with the stripes, I'll have balls down.
Balls down.
Even with stripes, I'll have a lot left. So I'll probably be able to do like a little kid's cardi or a hat or something with the remaining yarn. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to casting that on, but I have some things to finish first. So,
it has a really good price point too.
It does.
I think we paid $22.50 for it for a skein. So
yeah, and so I'm interested to try it. I do have some of the Wool Dreamers Manchalope, which I haven't tried yet, but I've seen a lot of projects lately that are done with the Moda. So yeah, and the colors are beautiful. They're kind of like heathery, but it looks like they're dyed kind of on a little bit darker base. So you really get really nice depth in it.
Yes, absolutely.
So
okay, and then the other thing that I got, we had bought this yarn, or we had bought some sock yarn from this company a while ago. So I thought this was really cool. It's by Gusto Wool, and the base is called Carmen, but I'm pretty confident that this is going to micro stripe, and it is just a sock yarn, but I really like the colors in it. It's hard to find good reds, and this one just had a red that appealed to me. And even though it has green, I don't feel it's Christmassy. And then it also has, of course, my standard gold in there, but I like the speckle. So I'm interested to see how this works up. This might be something fun to take this weekend too. You know, more fun than the other 500 skeins I already have. And then I stopped by Leo and Roxy's booth, and they always have they clear out some one-of-a-kinds, and I was lucky enough to snag a couple of skeins of this beautiful mohair, which it's like some purple and dark colors, and I really just think it would look really pretty paired with a light blue. There's a bit of blue in there, or even just a basic gray would be fun. And then another one caught my eye, and I'm like, oh, that's a nice gold. Wouldn't that be fun for socks? And then I looked at it, and it's straw into gold. So I now think I have straw into gold in absolutely every base. And this is their natural sock as well. So it's 80% natural merino, 20% nylon. And this, I was just planning for some socks. Yeah, super squishy and pretty. Okay.
Okay. Was that it from Woolstock?
No, I also got this. Well, I got a couple of books, but one's naughty, and Noelle said I can't show it. So I'll show you the not naughty one. This was Edward's Crochet Doll Emporium. And I thought it would be fun to make, like, you can make all of these little people. And I think they are a full size, like a Barbie size, like 11.5 inches. But the fun thing about these books is you start, like, they're split pages. I'll just show this. So you start at the head, and you choose the head design that you want. I'll just flip through a couple. So you have different people, and then you go through and you choose the costume that you want to make. So could be anything. They're really, it's such a cute and clever idea. Look at this little punk rocker. Yeah, tattoos even on the arms. My goodness. So I thought this would be kind of fun. She's got skates on, roller skates. Kind of fun to do something like this for Miles, or for any little kid. And I don't do a lot of crocheting, but I think this is just that kind of a good book to have in your library. And this is by Toft as well. They have videos online if you get stuck for anything in these books. And this was from the bookseller that was there. And he actually had a really good selection of books. We spent a fair bit of time. Victoria wants to see the naughty one. Noelle said no. Her grandchildren watch.
You can text her a picture individually later.
Let me just say, it was probably the best $7.50 I spent that day. We had so much fun laughing about it and showing the pictures and whatnot. And it was back at the house when we were done. It was so much fun. So let's just say it's also knitted dolls, and it came with some positions for the dolls and some costume changes for the dolls, but they were very funny. Can I at least tell them what it's called?
You can show them the cover. You just can't
show the cover. Okay.
The book.
All right. Knit Your Own Kama Sutra, 12 Playful Projects for Naughty Knitters, and written by Trixie Von Pearl. This is hysterical. They had, well, I will just show, I won't show any naughty pictures, but for every little pattern that they had like the naughty page, and then they had like the not naughty page. So here's a pair at the office with the photocopying machine and their business suits. And I'll just leave that to your imagination, what they were doing. But the one I did want to show, because this was super cute. This was the couple at a cabin. And they also give you the patterns for all of the props too. So this was the couple at the little cozy cabin. There's a pattern in here for the bearskin rug and for the deer antlers. And there was even, and then, you know, again, then there's naughty pictures to go with it. But it's so much fun. So
it was the,
we laughed and laughed and laughed. I mean, and then everybody was making up little stories to go along with the pictures. And these are also 11.5-inch dolls with pipe cleaner wires inside so that you can bend them. But you could make all the fun things without doing the awful things. But anyway, it was just, yeah, even there was a popcorn basket for when they go to the movies. So this was a good hour of laughter back at the house. Highly recommend that. Popcorn, Sarah says. Yes, popcorn. Okay, so that's what I got at Woodstock. And then you got some other things at Woolstock.
I had ordered a blending board from Little Red Mitten. So Jolene and Jillian brought that with them. So I just picked up some fleece so that I can have some fun blending some different things. So the first thing here is this big box of fleece this is Wellington Fibers. And there's the colors in that. They're kind of.
Oh, you're only showing two of the colors. You've got it all.
Oh. There.
Very pretty.
There's like a couple of like a gray, blue, a purple, some white, aqua. And this is a mohair. I believe it's a mohair, 50% mohair, 50% wool. That's called Tundra. There's 250 grams in there. Their wool is a joy to spin. Like the roving is it just drafts so easily. So then I also got to put in on the blending board, because you can kind of paint on the blending board. I watched a video about it. I haven't done any yet because I haven't had time. But at Fibercraft, I got these. These are Border Leicester loose locks. So that one's kind of like in like taupey pinks. And then this one was in like more vibrant colors. So those are kind of just to blend in a little bit with some solid color yarns. And then I also got these all different colors, just bits and pieces. This is Corriedale, I think. Doesn't say, but anyway. So there's all different colors. There's 10 grams each of the different colors. And then I got, this was from, got a name on it.
Was that from TK?
No. I'll have to look it up. Maybe Sarah knows. Sarah, where do we get the Rolex? But here's the, like, there was a little fade set, and it's got stellina in it too. So I got that. And then this is just a little bit, again, this I'm going to use to blend in with some plain white fiber. And then I got a big box of the Rolex because I just couldn't resist that color.
And because you're with Sarah, and the two of you can't be trusted.
Sarah, we were fighting over, if you put that down, I'm going to get it. And one more. This one just has little Rolex in, but they're all kind of different. There's golds and pinks, but very pastel-like.
Very pretty.
Yeah, so lots of spinning in my future. So that was it for Woolstock. Oh, it was Top of the World Spindlin. She says they have no website.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Top of the World.
Yeah. This one was like, it's like, if you put that down. Yeah, Sarah and I could do a lot of damage shopping together.
Yes, yes, I think you could. I definitely think you could. Yeah.
Okay.
So then on our way home, is that it for you for the show?
For the show, yeah.
Yeah. And then on our way home, we stopped at Mary Maxim. Haven't been to Mary Maxim probably in 30 years because, well, we don't have one here near us anymore. The one in Port Huron closed. So, one of the things that I got was another color collection of the Hue and Me that Noelle's been making her friend to friend shrug. Yep. So this one, I know it's almost an exact copy of Noelle's. My gold is one shade different, and I don't care because they're my. What are you doing stepping in my color range anyway, Missy? You should have stuck to your pink. Stay in your own lane.
The first shop I went to, those were the only colors that they had. So,
but I love these colors, so I thought that's it. We'll make sure neither one of us are wearing that if we're going somewhere together, so we don't look like we're like totally twinning. But I got those three. They were on sale, so that was a good deal. And then I just bought some Christmas sock colors. I really like this one. Festive Feet has a gold sparkle in it, and it's kind of like the vintage Christmas colors, which I actually really like. And then there's also this one too, Festive Feet, again with the darker colors. I thought that would be nice. Grab this, one of the matching sock pairs. This one is by oh, it is Mary Maxim yarn. Yep. So it's called the Perfectly Paired Duo. And yeah, there's a little bit of that goldy yellow in there too for me.
That was the color I got in that one.
I like that color too, but I thought we're not going to have matching socks.
Those were the colors that I got in the Hue and Me for another shrug. So these ones probably are more my colors, but I really do like the other colors too that I knitted in. But so I'll have one that's kind of cooler colors and one that's kind of warmer colors.
Yes. And then
for me,
I also grabbed this sock yarn. I thought, sometimes you just need to have, this is the Pro Lana, and I don't have a lot of men's colors. And, my husband's been asking me for socks, so I might have to start making him socks. And I thought, well, these are some colors that he might like, darker colors. And I talked last week about the Melisandre socks that I had that I felted, and they were the perfect shade of red. And it's really hard to get the perfect shade of red, but this is the Lang Yarns. And it's looking orangey on screen, but trust me, it's a perfect blue red. And this also comes with the little, the reinforcing thread inside as well. So I grabbed a couple of skeins of that. And lastly, I got this, which is Sirdar Snuggly. It's a DK. It's called Doodle. And it's yarn that's wrapped. It kind of looks tweedy, like it's wrapped in these sort of nappy fibers. And I bought enough just to do a little cardigan or a sweater or something, something for Miles, obviously. But it's very, very soft, and I thought he'd be cozy in that. So yeah, it was a good haul, friends. Good haul. Good prices too.
Okay, Kathy asked what the color sequence was that I used to do my friend to friend. It's called a Golomb sequence, Golomb. So it's a mathematical sequence. I will put, when I get a chance, in my Ravelry page where that is, I'll put the number of rows for each stripe.
Is she looking for the, well, I don't know though. Is she looking for the pattern or is she looking for the colors? She's a color sequence. Because the 3 colors that you used were pea coat, which was the navy.
Yep.
And the cement, which is the gray. And then you used a different
The other one was arrowwood.
Arrowwood, yeah, which is a little bit darker than this one. So, okay. And then there were just a couple of things that I had starred here. This was a question that came up earlier. Wondering if I'm having any felting issues with the rocket tee that I made with the Tricot champagne. I haven't yet, but truthfully, I think I've only worn the sweater twice because I want to go back and tighten up that neckline a little bit. You've probably worn your.
I have worn my ranunculus that I did in it, and I've not had any problem. And it's been worn and washed and worn. So
okay, good. And then Lori says that she's trying to do continental and she can't tension the yarn. So she's trying to knit like Arna, which seems to work for Nudiden. All I had to say with that, Lori, is when I started knitting the color work with 2 hands, I felt pretty hopeless with my left hand too. And it's something that you just have to keep working away at. Don't get frustrated. Just keep going. Generally, I find when I start a sweater, because I don't normally knit continental, I find that it feels a little bit loose to tension in my left hand. But after I get into it for a few rows, then it starts to feel quite natural. So just stick with it. Yeah,
it's a muscle memory thing, and you just have to kind of get used to the new way. So it took me a while to figure out the best way to tension it so that I was actually holding it. But a lot of it is just the more you do it, the easier it will get, and the more consistent your tension will get.
Yeah, I do find that I can't. So like when I tension my yarn on my right hand, I wrap it around my pinky first. So I always go like around the pinky and then like this. But on the left hand, I find I can't do that. So I'm trying to think, how do I do it now? I go all the way around, I think, like around the hand, or I don't know. There's something different I have to do because I don't find that I get enough tension just by going the way I normally go. So I do have to give it an extra wrap in there to keep the yarn snug, but just keep trying, try different positions. You will get it. I do find it to be the most comfortable position for knitting color work is to use both hands. So,
yep. So,
okay. So we are off to Rhinebeck this weekend. I know we've said that a lot. And speaking about festivals, so I took some photos at Woolstock and I'll show them to you. Here's what I took. This photo, there's one. And there's photo number 2. That's it, folks. That's all I got. I was honestly not in the frame of mind to be the photographer, to be the podcaster, to be anything. I just wanted to go there and enjoy it. But having said that, I will not be that way at Rhinebeck. I have some camera equipment packed. We will be more mindful about getting some footage for you for sure. And hopefully do something like we did from Montreal and maybe even record some segments in the room before we come home, because that seemed to work pretty well for us last time too. And anyway, I will be more mindful to include all of you on our trip to Rhinebeck. This is my first trip. Noelle's been there once before. I never get excited about traveling anywhere a few days before. I get a little, almost a little anxious, and I get to the point where I don't even want to go. I don't want to pack the bags. I don't even want to go. And then once I'm there, I'm fine. But today I was thinking about it, and you know what? I'm actually excited. I'm pretty stoked for this trip. And like I said, I was putting some time into laying items aside that I know I have to pack to bring, and organizing outfits because, you want to look good when you're there. You want to show off the sweaters, and yeah. So there we go.
Okay. I haven't even, well, I've thought about it, but I haven't put anything together yet. I'm actually super nervous. I don't know why. Anyway, it's been a lot in the last little while between being away for a month and then coming home and immediately going to Woolstock, and then only home a few days and going to the Rhinebeck. When I get home, I have Zoe for a weekend, and it just seems like everything is like, I don't know. Seems like I haven't been home very much. That's all.
Well, for me, I felt like that before we went away this weekend, because I've been not home very much because I worked such long hours around the fair. And then I finished at the fair basically Friday morning, drove home from work, threw some things in the car, and left and took off. But once I got there and got settled in at the house, and we were, just relaxing on Friday evening, I honestly had a really lovely weekend away. It was very nice. And then I've been pretty busy since I got home from there, trying to get caught up and get packed for Rhinebeck. I wanted to make sure I had my sweater finished. So now it's just all about, tomorrow will be like the straight out organizing the rest of the suitcase and getting my filming equipment together. And yeah, I honestly too, I also feel like I haven't seen my husband very much. So that's yeah. And packing, Susan, is my worst thing. I hate the trip anxiety of packing. I unpack my bags the minute I walk in the door. Everything is fine. I will unpack everything and put it away, but it's that packing. And I've tried to be more mindful in the last recent years to pack lighter, pack less, pack smarter, try to coordinate more things that will mix and match. And I bought packing cubes that I pack with, and that's really helpful. But it's still just the anxiety of putting my mind actually to the task. Once I'm on the plane and I'm headed somewhere, nothing matters then. It's all that work you put into something. It doesn't matter anyway. We're on our way. So yeah, but we are looking forward to it. And if you see us at Rhinebeck, if you're coming to Rhinebeck and you see us, please come and say hi. It was so nice to meet everybody at Woolstock that came up and said hello. Some people that we've met before, and lots of new people too, some new faces. So it's just super exciting to get to see everybody that we get to see. We're so lucky, so lucky. So, okay.
Okay, so we do have knit-alongs going along, but we won't go through them. We're already late today, but there's nothing that's finishing up by next week. So work on your socks, work on smashing your stash, work on your Marie Wall and Susan Crawford projects, and we'll have updates on those next week. So we hope everybody has an amazing time. Like I said, anybody that's going to Rhinebeck, come and say hi to us, please. We'd love to talk to you. And take care, everybody. Hope everybody has a great week, and we'll see you next week. Happy knitting.